Hi, my name is Anaruth Carias, and today I'm going to be talking about the effects of gendered text on television advertising. And I'm mainly going to be focusing on the stereotypes that are put on men and women and the gender roles that are portrayed in toy commercials. For example, how girls' toys are mainly pink and boys' toys are mainly blue. And the overall execution and how this traditional marketing is impacting their target audience as well as potential consumers. So what was my interest in the topic? To really understand why companies continue to traditionally market the way that they do and how that's impacting their target audience positively or negatively, as well as really noticing how brands are trying to shift the way that they advertise through social media, trying to grasp that attention, and also collabing with made people that are hot in the media right now. For example, all over Instagram, I see that this brand Crocs has been collaborating with a whole bunch of singers like Post Malone, Justin Bieber, Bad Bunny, and to really target their younger audience, and so far it's working for them because they have sold out both collections within minutes. So the selling of stereotypes. This study was done to really show the negative effects of stereotypes, particularly on women and people on the heavier side, and how it reflects the gender role expectations of how women should be losing weight to look better for men. Okay, so what was found and the connections to the Larson text. The implications that were found is that 2 out of 1 thin women appeared 3 times more frequently as heavyweight women, and the men was always the same in a high position or more elite area or building. And a woman, when it comes to perfume or clothing, it was more of a thin model to represent the clothing. And when it comes to weight loss infomercials, it contains more references to unrestricted, to eating, and how it promotes saying if you don't watch what you eat, you're going to end up getting weight. And the advertisement is more, if you restrict your eating, start eating, you lose weight like these people. And it shows a dramatic weight loss and how they're happy with their weight loss and more attractive that way. So the way that I see this is that it's applying the typical stereotype of men and women in society using the gratification theory. And this theory really kind of focuses on how people interpret the commercials and how it satisfies one's needs. And I know that society puts an extreme amount of pressure on women and men to look a particular way. For example, men in advertising are always muscular and, have this more masculine appearance to them. And females, they have to be thin, tall, long legs, no hair, and all that stuff. When in reality, that's really highly unlikely because, life happens and there's stuff that you need to take into consideration. And that advertisements use gender and sex to promote the shifts on how, men are supposed to be the protector and women are supposed to be the pleaser to the men, and to gratify that need to meet social pressures. And gender roles in toy commercials. So this study was an analysis on how commercials play after school hours, particularly in 2004 in the Nickelodeon network. It was about 455 toy commercials, and how gender roles, orientation between boys and girls were kind of set up. And it was showing the socialization process, long-term exposure, and how the repeated commercial can really impact a boy or a girl. It was found that brands mostly aim towards young boys and girls to kind of generate the traffic to the active customers, making a purchase, that constant pressure of children when they want something, they'll constantly ask their parents. And right now with social media, there's always that pressure that children, should be cool. If you're not cool, if you don't have this particular thing. And playing that constantly after school only increases that. Putting the gender sex oriented products in, their faces every day will remind the parents, like, okay, I see these little girls on TV doing it, so I should buy it for my kids. And it's about 60% of the time that the shopping cart, the checkout, purchased on an impulse. And even though people are bringing their shopping list and everything. And the effects of television advertising execution on recall, comprehension, and persuasion. So this study was done on 1,059 television commercials that had brands' messages, I guess more between newer brands and older brands and how they, different from one another. And it was based on identification, information, the setting, the visual, auditory, like sounds and like views, and the tone, the music, and the way that the commercial was executed overall. It was found that 9% contained a recall, only 12% contained like really understanding what the commercial was advertising, and only 16% of established products contained that sort of consumer understanding and kind of recognizing the brand compared to 13%. I guess gravitating towards the more newer brands and how they're different from any other brand out there. And it's all about adapting to change, because the way that society is now, like how I was talking about earlier, Crocs, is finding a new way to reach out to younger people by, collaborating with people who are mainstream media and adapting. Having that adaptive factor can really increase like the likelihood of how you differentiate yourself from other brands, because the way that you market it can greatly impact your sales. And the future advertising needs to be more engaging, more interactive, and relevant in order to succeed. Because if you don't grasp the attention of the consumer, there is no point of purchase. There is no sale. So what I talked today. So I talked about stereotypes that are put on men and women. I talked about how that impacts gender roles. And I talked about the execution on established and older brands. These are my references and citations. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and stay safe.